Hello, YouTube. I'm going to put this out during market hours. I hope that you have your notifications on for YouTube so you see this because I don't have to make a video later. And also, it's actually a very good thing to get this information before the close. So make sure you have those notifications on and make sure to like this video so that more people can see it because this information still will be helpful even after hours, but during market hours, a little bit better, okay? So I'm just going to hop right into it. The thing I wanted to discuss was the SPY and volatility. I think just tackling those two things like we talked about in the video last night would be very, very good. Now, as it stands, the likelihood here is we are going to see some kind of move to the upside on Friday that then is potentially at least a trap. Now, the interesting part about this is we still could, if you watched to the end of the video yesterday, we stated that we could do both of those scenarios to really continue into November, at least for another week. But there is something interesting with the 2-hour scale. The 2-hour scale has crossed. That means if we do see an upward move, we do have the availability for that divergence, maybe a rejection divergence at the same time going into next week, right? If it takes its time here, if it really needs to go to that upside and linger up here for a bit, go into Monday before it falls down, we can really create that 2-hour divergence now. Well, let's go see volatility and see if it's saying, hey, could we curl down the daily chart after this week? Could we curl this down? And I think it is saying that. And also, we are holding the divergence point. So this is looking like a very risky weekend. It does look like we have a potential for a 30-minute move still to the upside based on 5-minute charts. We talked about this on Patreon earlier this morning. The 5-minute chart's really piling up down here, creating an RSI divergence down here, and you're at the 5-day moving average, while at the same time, and this is where we'll switch over, so some 5-minute divergence here, kind of holding you at this point, getting very tight. So an explosive move is coming. So what is volatility saying? And volatility is overall saying, hey, look at this. We had this, and this is what we talked about this morning. A 5-minute divergence. I'm not the biggest fan of 5-minute, but this is the information I have during market hours, right? Till the market gives more time. I need more time to see more proving of itself. But we do see this 5-minute divergence at the top here. 5-minute divergence, actually triple divergence, pretty much came in with the lower high. So not a divergence, but lower high. You see left head, right shoulder, very nice. And it turns to the downside. What does this do? Well, that means it's likely to curl over the 30-minute. Well, you curl over the 30-minute after making a what? A lower high. So you tried to make a higher one. You tried to make a higher low. You end up making a lower high. Now you're going negative. So unless this can pop back to the upside, still a lot of risk here. You know, these 2 hours are not confirmed back down, but this type of lower high is exactly what shows when a 2-hour could curl down. So if we're able to curl that to the downside, we could linger this out into potentially Monday, which means we might see some kind of squeeze going into tomorrow, and we might see some heightened risk. So this is something that's very much so on our mind. The other thing we would watch for is the daily time frame. So as of right now, it looks like all of this is shaping up. We could potentially have ourselves a top this week because if all of this comes to fruition and you do see a curl up here of this MACD, you see a confirmation above the 9-day moving average, which would be about a reading above 17, a close above 17 right now, would suggest that you are going to curl up the MACD in positive territory, which means that you can take out this high, go make a new one. And the last time that you did that, here was that high. When you took it out, man, that new one was up there. So I wanted to get you some of this information relatively quickly during market hours. And once again, if you want to do it a little bit backwards here, I know at this point, you know, the daily scale is just pulling back for volatility. This means that we are very likely to see a corrective move. Is the SPY suggesting the same thing? Yes, in a different fashion in the form of a divergence point. These things have not confirmed yet, but why are we still talking about them? Well, because the 2-hour could set up a higher low. The 2-hour could set up a divergence based on what we're seeing in the really short time frames, because the 30-minute is very likely to cross down here. If it can confirm back to the upside, you might already have a top. That's why this last little push, and I know I'm bouncing around at the end here, but this last little push that could happen on Friday like this might be pretty risky to play because all that has to happen is big drop, right? So this is something just very clear to pay attention to. It looks like we do have heightened risk. I'm sorry that I do not have time to put out a video tonight, but I will have all of your daily expected moves up on Patreon. So if you want to join Patreon, we'll have those daily expected moves. Maybe we can make another little Patreon update, a little 4-minute update like we did today, tomorrow as well. So I hope you guys are watching things out there. I hope you watch for this 30-minute that could just reject right now. We can get that 2-hour pullback. That's very true. I think that the risk in this area, right? We said the risk up towards this yellow line very high. But as of right now, if this just curls up, if you get that confirmation, that would suggest that we could take out this high, go make a new one, and set a Friday trap. So we will be watching this very, very carefully going into the next couple trading sessions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and Patreon members be looking out for all of the daily expected moves for all the stocks that we do like to cover on this channel, which I am going to try to start doing more briefings during my videos of individual stocks that we pay attention to as well. We will be adding those in periodically. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.